What is your name and what org are you part of?
My name is Fortino Morales, and I'm part of the UCR Community Garden, or our garden.
Mm-hmm. What is your org's mission statement?
Our org's mission statement is to look at sustainable food systems and learn about hands-on growing through hands-on experiential learning through workshops, activities, and events um, that kind of address food issues in our community and abroad.
What is your org's vision statement?
Our vision statement is
So,
that
so how would you like to see, what would you like to see happen? What is the ultimate goal or purpose of your org?
I think the ultimate goal of the and purpose is to really kind of spark people's interest in what we found so far is that a lot of people are already interested in this. It's just about finding a place to kind of be able to engage in that. And the garden is a perfect place to do that, both physically, but then also kind of in a community context too.
Mm-hmm.
Learning about what's going on, and then actually taking action in your own local community.
Okay. Um, what is sustainability?
Sustainability, it's a lot of different things. I mean, so there's definitely there's like the definitions that like the UN and different people have, but I think in the end it's really about um, it's about kind of sustaining the world and kind of making sure that it's growing and for future generations. And at this point, it even goes beyond sustainability. I think in terms of it, it's also about regeneration and learning how to create a world that doesn't take, but actually kind of gives more
Mm-hmm.
in the end. Yeah,
In one word, what is sustainability?
regeneration.
What are some problems in Riverside?
Um, well, there's a lot of problems, but I think there's also a lot of really cool solutions and a lot of really cool things happening right now. Just in general, in talking about, there's a lot of different aspects, and especially when you're looking at food. So one is health, and so there's pretty high obesity rates and health issues related to diet within Riverside, and Riverside County is kind of how they do the data and the metrics on that. So 2 out of every 3 adults in Riverside is obese or overweight, um, based on the last studies that they've done. So that's obviously an issue in that there's a lot of health implications with that. I think another thing is that what we see here, especially in the east side, right? So there's UCR that has we have a lot of resources in terms of just a lot of resources in all the different ways you can think. Um, and we're also kind of like a leading agricultural research institution, a land grant university with agriculture at its core. But then the neighborhood right next to us is also considered food desert by the USDA, and so I think there's kind of room to grow there in terms of making sure that the kind of the technology and the research and the development that goes on at a university also translates for the communities right next to us, and that helps support the university in a lot of ways too.
Mm-hmm. How do you see Riverside in the next 5 years?
Riverside, well, so just thinking like that always gets me thinking about what's happened in the last 5 years, and it's a lot has changed in the last 5 years, and I think a lot of really cool things are starting to happen, and I just kind of hope to see those. I can't really know what's going to happen in 5 years, but I think some really cool things are going to be taking place.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
What are those some examples?
some examples, I think what we're seeing is so there's a lot of community gardens taking root right now and getting started. And most of them I think have taken at least 2 years to get going and up and running. And we're just at we're getting to the point where we're starting to really launch and take off. So I can only imagine in 5 years of having a handful of successful gardens in the area. I think can really do a lot in terms
Mm-hmm.
of kind of building community and learning about food, making that an important thing within the Riverside community.
Okay. How do you see Riverside in the next 10 years or 20 years or 50 years? In the future, how do you envision Riverside?
That's a really good question. I really hope to kind of see, like we were talking about in terms of sustainability and regeneration, is really starting to look at the natural systems around us and how we kind of fit into that, and then of course how food fits into that, and health and a lot of that stuff. So I'm excited to kind of see what having a community that's interested in food in the world around them, like what that will translate into 10 to 15 years down the road. I don't know. I mean, I know the food co-ops just starting up, and to see them really have a storefront, the garden to be, um, getting students excited about getting into the food field, wherever that may be. From the business side, from engineering to the botany and plant sciences. So, yeah. So kind of, I just see the connections getting stronger.
Okay. Well, thank you